Today is Wednesday, May 17th, 2017. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor Game Changers Week 11.
This episode was titled, Parting is Such Sweet Sorrow, spoken by Mr. Culpepper as he was returning the individual immunity necklace. Previously on Survivor, Sarah shared her secret to steal a vote with Cirie. Sierra did the same, and it backfired. And Sarah's plan worked, and she was willed the legacy advantage. You recall the legacy advantage can be used at Final 6, which is coming up next.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're down to 6.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah will be using that.
Let's talk about how they got to 6.
It's
night 32. Aubrey's having a quick discussion with Cirie and some others. She said, Sarah looked confused. Yeah, that was fishy. So they were definitely on tour.
I don't think they thought she was confused. I think they thought she's playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Playing it confused all along. So I really liked it. Good on those girls that they picked that up quickly like that.
Yep.
So
Andrea tells us that Sarah has lied to her before. So she's on tour.
Everyone's lied to Andrea.
Cirie says, well, I want to take Sarah to the end because she's really worked a whole bunch of them on her way there, so I think it'll be good to sit by her. Sarah tells us that she looked at Sierra in shock, and now she has the legacy advantage.
Well, and they're right. She is playing to the jury, but everyone should be playing to the jury at this point. They act like that was a bad thing.
Right, yeah.
But I think what they didn't
This is
like
Survivor
is that,
hypocrisy. It always happens, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, of course, everyone should be playing to the jury by now.
Mm-hmm.
There is a jury, so play to them.
Exactly.
You're already, asking for votes.
What'd you think about what Sarah said in response to all that? She said, I can't stand Andrea. I want to get rid of her. That surprised me a little bit. That sounds pretty strong.
No, I thought they were not playing well together all along, so it didn't surprise me too much.
That's fine.
I mean, to say she didn't like
can't stand
her,
Andrea.
The harshness of it was a little surprising. But Sarah's, like she said, shooting for the stars this time. She intends to win, but.
Well, she tempered it, too. She's being pragmatic. She said it must be the right time.
Yeah, she wants her out, but it has to be the right time to do it, or it just won't work.
So, night 32, they were at Tribal Council. What's going on day 33? Another community challenge. So, it hadn't been 24 hours that Sierra's gone, and they're back at it with another challenge.
I do not think I would do well at that challenge.
That seemed like a tough one for sure.
That looked really...
This is where...
Aubrey made it look easy.
Culpepper gives the immunity idol necklace back, and this is where he gave us the title for the episode. So, yeah, they've got to keep the balance board steady. At the same time, they're building, as Probst likes to call it, a house of cards. It's actually wooden blocks that are, I guess, somewhat card-shaped.
Well, interesting, though, Cerie's was reversed, so I'm assuming she's left-handed.
Mm-hmm.
And that they did that for her, but I wonder if they had to ask people do you have a preference on which side you get to?
Sure, yeah.
Because I couldn't imagine stacking anything with my left hand.
Probst tells us this challenge was last won by Cochran, and he did it in 17 minutes, at which point Aubrey announces, my boyfriend.
Okay.
Because of the running joke during her season, during Co-Wrong, that she was the female Cochran, right?
Right. Okay, but...
What'd you think of Probst's response? Well, you break his record and you win his heart.
Well, I guess she really wanted his heart because she smashed
She
the
crushed
record.
it, yeah.
6 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So there was some good drama, and you like this challenge. Either you like it or you don't. But if you like it because the lead can change so quickly.
Yes.
And we see Michaela's go down, and
several times.
Yeah, she had quite a bit of trouble.
She was building rapidly, but they kept falling.
Cerise dropped it. Troyzan dropped it. There was a lot of people.
Andrea had a pretty good stack when she dropped.
Yeah, she was on the comeback. Yep.
Yeah, and it looked like she looked over at Aubrey and bam, there it went. I couldn't believe how hard Aubrey hit Jeff.
She slammed him, yeah.
She did.
That's what I wrote in my notes. Aubrey slammed Jeff. She just really ran into him, didn't she?
She sure did. I wrote that too.
Kind of bounced off of him a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think it took him off guard.
6 minutes. She beat Cochran's record by 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Crushed it. Crushed it.
Good on her.
Yeah, and that's after correcting for realizing that she was using too many blocks and having to backtrack and then rebuild up.
But she stayed level-headed and only went down so far to just get enough blocks to get one up there. And I thought, oh, wow, she was impressive in that one.
Yes, that's certainly the Aubrey that we saw in her previous season.
Yes,
this was her minute to shine for sure in this entire season. You know, we've had some good reaction type shots and scenes with her, and like her reaction to Debbie when Debbie got voted out. And back in that episode, she wasn't happy having to listen to Debbie dictate orders. But this was really and it may be the only moment. We'll see, obviously. There's a little more to go.
Well, and here's the thing. Andrea says the same thing about Sarah. You know, that she wants her out. But she thinks now is the time. So she makes a call that now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
To get her.
Except we're going to quickly find out.
Not so much.
Andrea doesn't have any juice. She got nothing going for her here. Yeah. Okay, so they get back to camp. So it's day 30 on day 33 there. And everybody's nice job, Aubrey. And Aubrey tells us this is her moment. She has now started her resume. She's won individual immunity, and now she needs to start looking a couple of moves ahead. Tells us Troyzan is likable, but Brad is the threat, and the time is nigh. Michaela's none too happy about that. She's got other plans for Brad. Brad provides food, so if Brad's going, she wants to get him back out there to catch some fish one more time. And this is where we get a little bit of a confusing exchange, right?
It was to me.
So she goes off to find him because they think he's hunting for an idol. It does look like she busts him hunting for an idol, but then really she's only there to tell him, go fish, go get food.
I thought, what is she trying to tell him? Sounds like she's trying to tell him, you're in jeopardy. You better go get us some fish.
No.
And if he does...
I don't think she was doing that at all. I think she was just saying, I think you should go fish. Go get food.
Well, that was just a weird way if you wanted someone to do something for you. That was a weird way, I
think if you asked Michaela, or if we were to ask her, she was saying I was being direct and clear.
Okay.
As I always am.
Well, I can say that, to me, the edit was not clear, and he was more on the defensive.
Yeah, he's like, you're blackmailing me? You caught me hunting for an idol, and now you want me to go fish so you don't tell him I was... I guess that's what that was about. The way that was editing, it left it disconnected. It was unclear.
Exactly.
Because we had seen this scene on Next Time on Survivor about the blackmail reference, and then they didn't give it to us with clarity. I guess I was a little disappointed in it. I know it's not significant in the scheme of things, but that was just kind of annoying in the end. I think we got the right read on it, though, so let's move on.
I guess. Okay, and Aubrey says, no, she doesn't want Sarah out. It's not the time. She thinks they should stay with Brad. Andrea is trying to approach everyone and get a Sarah vote, and it's just not working very well.
Yeah, she's fishing hard with Cerise there, and Cerise onto her immediately. I loved her description. She's working me like a cheap suit. That was great. Cerie's very clear on what she needs, though, and she needs Sarah right now. So as far as Cerie's concerned, as they head into tribal, is it going to be Andrew or is it going to be Brad? And Brad's a challenge winner, so is Andrea at that point. So
what do you think? Do you think that'd have been better to get Brad at that point?
Yes. I think, given how ineffective Andrea was, that Brad was the bigger threat. Because Andrea is just firing blanks. She's not getting bites from anybody.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody wanted to
the way the
take her
edit
to the
worked,
end.
she just got shut down. So she seems. It's hard to say who's more of a challenge threat because they both represent.
They do
Immunity challenge threats, but just seemed like there was less. I don't know. I would have gone for Brad. I mean, I had Andrea and Brad to go, so I was happy either way this was headed in. I thought there was a good chance I was going to get a point. You too, right?
Yeah, I had Andrea and Brad. I thought that was most logical.
Yes.
Though this season hasn't been logical, so.
At least not to us, right?
Though at least those two were up for the vote.
Exactly. Okay, so the jury's in. They're at tribal council.
Okay, here's the thing, before we go into tribal. Sari is trying to tell Sarah, look, Andrea wants to get you out. And Sarah doesn't believe, was it Aubrey? Sari said Aubrey said it? Or am I in the wrong place? No, that was the next vote, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Look at your notes there, sweetie.
Well, I know, but I was just thinking, hey, she said, never mind.
Trying to wing it. You want to go to tribal council? It looks like you got some notes for that.
Let's go tribal council.
All right.
So Aubrey starts out with her, we have a more solid we than we've had before.
Yeah, just giving Michaela some kudos, I think, with the we versus me thing. Yep.
Yeah, well, Michaela, I'm sure, liked that.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah tells us, well, if it's not broken, don't try to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tell us there wasn't a whole lot of scrambling going on. That surprised them. Makes them a little suspicious.
Yep.
That there was no scrambling.
Sari said it was quiet.
And then Brad says something about maybe someone will get rid of, others to move ahead in the game, and that.
Well, he talked to others. He didn't talk to Andrea. He was building off what Andrea said.
Or we didn't
she
see
said she
him
was
talk
uneasy, and no, he said he talked to the others, but he didn't talk to Andrea specifically because he had, he said that he was trying, so he was trying to make his case.
Well, and then they all start in with that they believe that this jury will reward good gameplay. Sarah, Ty, even Andrea. But then Andrea clarifies that by saying, it's the manner in which you send them off. Don't try to pretend to be their friend. She's pointing her finger right at Sarah.
Sure, yeah. And Aubrey had done something similar just prior to that, too, where she said you have to consider people's emotions.
Mm-hmm.
They're not robots. So Andrea was just building on that.
Yeah, but she was talking to the jury and trying to, gain an advantage with the jury, just like Sarah had been doing.
Sure. And
she wanted to vote Sarah out for the same reason.
Michaela's all about stick to the plan. I think she would enjoy playing with Keith now. She's, we're here to advance the group now. Don't everybody lose sight of that.
Nah, Keith would drive her insane.
I should be spitting right along with him. Patooey. I liked Culpepper's pitch right there at the end. You're gonna get God at 7 or God at 5. If you don't get them now, you'll wish you had at 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the votes come down, and it's bye-bye Andrea. 5-2 for Brad.
Yeah, what'd you think about her going over to Sari and picking at her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like
I like that. You got me.
So she's
poking her, smiling.
Well, and I think she was trying to highlight
Sari.
something.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, it cuts both ways, right? It can run dual purposes there to do that.
Well, and Aubrey, who was once again out of the loop, was like,
Kayla was looking
nice
a little
play,
smug.
Guys.
Yeah.
And it seemed to really affect Aubrey, though, that she's like, dang, just thought, and I won immunity and I'm feeling all powerful and slap.
She tells us that's the story of her game. I found Andrea's last words there interesting, too.
What were they? I don't remember.
Well, she was saying that she thought she had made connections this time.
Oh.
And so she was blindsided by this, and she thought that she had played, I believe what she was essentially saying, she thought she had played a better game than she had. And she realized she drew dead right at the end. She couldn't get any support for her plan, and she got the boot. So I think it's a pretty clear indication of where she stood.
I know, but people have been trying to get her out for weeks. You know, her name's been coming up hard and heavy for some time now.
Yeah, since Zeke flipped on her. Yep.
So that's why I don't understand why she thought she was so solid. What did you think of Ty going over and comforting
That's Ty.
Aubrey?
Ty's a nurturer. He's a comforter.
That's
his thing.
It is, but I still thought it was...
Whether it's a chicken or Aubrey, he's going to be there to comfort him.
I still thought it was strategic.
You thought it was strategic?
Also was very strategic on his part to pull Aubrey in close.
And that's what Cerie's essentially saying.
Yeah, exactly.
That he's working her emotional side.
Cerie sees everything.
And so you're saying that you agree with Cerie, therefore you see everything like Cerie.
No, actually, I wasn't saying that. But, okay, yeah. That's probably true. I'll take that.
Sure.
Yeah, alrighty.
So we skipped over day 34, right? That happened on 33, and then boom, we're back at the community challenge again, day 35. Probst is telling Aubrey to spin and grin, and she tries to run away, so he has to snag her and get the necklace back. Okay, so they have to climb up on this pole that's out in the water.
No.
No? You don't want to discuss that?
No, I just would not climb.
Oh, you're like Cerie? You having trouble getting up? Because that's up a pretty good distance. Yeah.
That's why I said I don't think
And Cerie refused to actually get up there and stand. So she was kneeling on top. So they've got a leaky bucket. It's got holes in it with a rope attached to it. So they got to drop the bucket down, pull the water up as it's leaking out of the bucket, and then pour it into a tube. And as you pour the water into the tube, it raises the key, causes it to float up on this smaller pole that's submerged in that tube of water.
And you have to have the key to open the lock to get your puzzle pieces.
Get your puzzle pieces out. So Michaela did just extraordinarily well at this.
She did.
Did a really great job there. It was impressive. Now, it didn't really end up turning out to be for any big advantage because everybody kind of caught up at the puzzle. Even Cerie eventually, who had gotten her rope tied or wrapped around the pole,
got her bucket.
had to climb back up again.
Oh, man.
Finally got her key, and then she, to her credit, she did jump off.
She did it.
So that was
she
awesome
did it
for
all,
her.
and she didn't give up.
Nope.
I thought that was really awesome. Way to go, Cerie.
I think she managed to get up there and futz with her puzzle a little bit.
And Michaela was just kicking herself.
Well, she kicked the puzzle.
Well,
she kicked it twice, from what I saw.
For not winning that. Well,
she thought she had it, and it turned out she had the top and the bottom blocks reversed.
Yeah, man.
And Culpepper stepped in. So I think that's worth noting. Culpepper beat Cerie and Aubrey at a puzzle, and one that he wasn't first to start on.
Who came?
That's pretty
right
noteworthy.
Near the first, though, right? Wasn't he?
No.
I thought he was.
It was Michaela, Troyzanne, Aubrey, then Culpepper. That's how they arrived at unlocking their pieces.
Well, he did good. He got it.
Yeah, did fantastic. Won. Then he got emotional. He came this close to pulling a Troyzanne.
This is my island.
He didn't say this is my island. But he definitely got emotional. He was letting out some expletives. They had to beep out what he was saying. That Probst was exclamation right. He was exclamation right. Pick someone else, people, he informs them after he has the immunity necklace.
Yeah, well, and he probably would have been the one to go. So.
Yeah, you and I were pretty disappointed at this point.
Yes.
Thought we had a shot at some double points. Cerie tells us they are going to have to recalibrate to a new threat.
So Troy tells us that He's taking his idol with him tonight.
Yep.
Just in case he feels any threat to himself, he's going to play it.
Yeah. Ty and Aubrey are having a conversation, talking about who's been making the most moves. Who do they highlight? My girl, Sarah. Yep. They're calling Sarah out for being the big mover and the shaker, the biggest threat to win at this
Ty
point.
Did, yeah. That she's a threat, and he wants to make a big move and go after her.
Aubrey was working him a little too, and she said, "Yeah, I know, but you're friends with her." And then Ty shook his head, no. He didn't say it out loud, but he shook his head, no. I am not friends with her.
Well,
at least that's what he told Aubrey.
Even if he is, it won't stop him. Though she should pay attention, because he can like you, but he'll still cut your throat, and they should all feel that way at this point. It's like, yeah, I don't care who you are. If you're in my way, I'll vote you out.
Aubrey,
do whatever.
Yep. Aubrey tells Sari, and Sari tells Sarah, Ty is coming for you.
Here's what I was thinking about earlier.
Yeah, you ready?
Yep.
Drop some knowledge on us. Go ahead.
Okay. You already said what I was going to say, babe.
Okay.
Okay, but anyway, I was a little bit surprised when Sari took it to Sarah, and Sarah's like, she believes Aubrey. And she's like,
You can tell Sarah doesn't care much for Aubrey.
I believe Ty more than Aubrey.
And to prove it, I will give you my steal a vote advantage.
Yeah.
I totally bought this, just like Cherie. I forgot the fine print. Thought, I don't know why you're doing that, but okay.
Sarah didn't. She quoted it exactly when the time came.
Yeah.
This is non-transferable. Read it. It's at the bottom. So
you think she had that in mind at that point? She wasn't.
I think she was. I think this episode, I felt like anyway, Sarah was testing everyone.
Yeah.
How loyal are you to me? I felt like everything was a test, even at tribal council and the way the votes went through, everything. And Sarah's telling Michaela who to vote for, and telling people who to vote for. I think she was testing everyone to see who would do what she requested.
I didn't really see that, but I'll have to keep that in mind.
I kind of thought it was, but you could tell she totally thought Sari believing Aubrey was.
I think Sari
naive.
Sari believed Sarah and trusted Sarah, but Sari had other plans. She said, if I have this advantage, I'm going to play it. I'm old school. If I got it, I'm going to use it. And I'm going to use it to save Sarah. And she tells Michaela that. So her and Michaela were in pretty tight.
Yeah, I thought so too.
And she explains what Sarah's thinking, and Michaela's concerned because Sarah's plan, if it backfires, Michaela tells us takes out not only Sarah but Sari and Michaela too.
I wasn't real sure about Sari's plan with Ty because surely Ty said, "Who are they? Who are the they that's targeting me? Give me names." I would have wanted names. Don't say what Ty. They're saying your name, and they are coming after you.
I think that's a great way to start the conversation because if people don't ask,
but
you don't have to tell.
I think it is too, but I would have demanded to know who they was.
This was Sari working some of her best magic. I saw it coming together, and I thought, yeah, go ahead, do it. She was going back and forth a little. Can I get Ty comfortable enough? Can I share this with him? That he won't play the idol that I believe he has. So she was working on Eric Reichenbach kind of move on him, basically to get him to give up his security.
Hey, it worked with Eric.
Yeah. So I was really impressed with how this was coming together and very hopeful to see it all happen.
Yeah.
Even though it was a bit of an ethical dilemma for her.
Yep.
To run the game so hard on Ty like that.
Well, I'm afraid this really sealed Sari's fate. This whole... Okay, on to tribal council.
Well, Ty tells us he's surprised by it all, and he's really troubled. And he's scared, but he's got to be a big boy about the whole thing.
Well, and Sarah tells us right out front at Tribal Council, I'll find out who is lying to me or not, this Tribal Council. That seemed to be her goal.
I'm not sure where that was coming from, what was going on there.
Exactly.
I didn't, for whatever reason, if the lead up had spelled that out, the only thing that we really have is her being told by Suri that Ty was coming for her, right? Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that fits in that. So someone's lying, and Aubrey was it Aubrey? Yeah, Aubrey had told Suri, and Suri had told Sarah.
Yeah, that Ty wanted her out.
This is the rat, the liar that she's going to highlight, I guess. It just wasn't clear to me exactly where that was coming from at the time. Now I think about it, I guess that's what she was referring to.
Well, yeah, and if she thought, Aubrey, let's find out where Aubrey is, let's find out where Ty is, let's find out where Suri and Michaela are.
Suri responds, yes, there were definitely some lies being told today, and we're going to see through that deception tonight. And Culpepper agrees, yep, there's definitely some people lying.
Well, but Michaela said, but there's only a couple of people lying. She kind of clarified.
Not everyone's lying.
Well, not everyone's lying.
And
there's
Ty
just
tells us, when he's asked about deception, that he prefers to give the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm. And then we get the uncomfortable moment where Suri tried to play.
Well, let's talk a little. There's a little bit that happens before that. Troyzan was talking about the fear that was present there, and about how favors that are done are rarely returned.
That's true.
And Suri, for all we know, Suri's getting ready to do this favor for Sarah. So it seemed like some foreshadowing there, right?
Yeah, except I'm not really even sure exactly why Sarah wanted Suri to use it. I mean, I thought she was trying to
want Suri to use it.
I thought she did.
Nope, she wanted her to hold it.
I thought she said something about if you choose to use it, you use it, or something like that. Mm-mm. I thought she had said something. We'll have to go back and look.
Okay.
But
I do not have that recollection. If that occurred, I missed it.
So she didn't think Suri was going to use it? Then why give it to her?
It's just to demonstrate trust.
Well, but that didn't mean anything if she could just take it right back. And
well, Suri didn't fully comprehend, which is where you were going.
Obviously, Suri thought she gave it to her so she could use it.
No, Suri chose to use it.
Yeah, well.
Those are two different things.
Backfired.
She chose to attempt to use it. And she's still big on the stick with the plan approach right now.
Notice Sarah didn't object at all about it right up until Suri said, well, I'm going to take Sarah's vote. Mm-hmm. And Sarah was like, oh, no, you don't.
It don't work that way.
Mm-mm.
So they go back and forth a little bit. I didn't steal it. And then Sarah clarifies, it's non-transferable.
Yeah, read it. And she does, and I can imagine Suri was like, oh, man, this is painful. Egg on my face.
Again,
a
little bit of humiliation here for not paying attention to detail.
Yeah, and she's so detail-oriented, and she missed that.
I liked Probst's response. It can be given as a sign of trust, but you can't use it. Yeah, that was great. He was like, she did this as a sign of trust in you. Pointing it out, being very clear.
Well, Sarah just gets up in the middle of whatever was being said.
After she got it back.
Heads over to Ty. Like, I don't care what you have to say. I just knew she went over to Ty and said, vote for Suri.
No, I think she said vote for Michaela
out of the gate. I thought she would have said vote for Suri. That's what I thought. Mm-hmm. She was going to get rid of Suri. And then I think that's when, at least I think Suri thought she was too. Because she jumped up and went over there and said, hey, did you notice how she grabbed her shirt
She was shaking
collar?
Her by her members-only jacket.
I'm doing this for you.
Yeah, she was trying to get through to her.
Yep.
And her and Michaela, and she wanted Michaela to testify on her behalf.
If you don't believe me, ask Michaela.
But Troyzan busted in, and Michaela was having none of that.
Yep.
Slide to the side, she instructed him.
I wonder if Sarah told the two guys to vote Michaela, or if they did it because of her yelling at them.
Obviously, there's some questions to be asked about how that went down.
Absolutely. But Michaela was having none of it, him sticking his head into the...
Lots and lots of whispering, and of course we just can't follow it because they don't even show it all to us.
That's right. Lots of chit-chat going on.
It's not clear who knew what at this point.
You know, at that point, the jury was like, yeah.
Oh, they were having a grand old time over there, reacting and smiling, and they were getting surprised.
Like,
and
where's the popcorn?
They were getting blindsided, yeah.
And
so Sarah takes Ty's vote after having multiple discussions with him.
And Ty didn't, obviously he felt completely secure. He didn't play an idol.
I don't get this. And I've had this happen before with Ty, where there's no clue for us to understand why he was so confident. I'm hoping there's an extra scene or something where he lays it out a little bit.
Well, Sarah could have completely popped him there.
He was gonna play one. I can't understand why he wouldn't.
Yeah, just as a precaution.
And Sheree tells us when she goes to vote, I should have read the fine print. I can tell you, if we were going to the finale, I'd be scrambling right now to get some shirts that said, should have read the fine print.
Yep, okay, whoever's going to the finale. Get a shirt made.
I would have loved to have done that for her. Get a picture taken with her that says, should have read the fine print.
Okay.
So Ty ends up getting 2 votes. One's Michaela, one's Aubrey, his best buddy, Aubrey.
Yep.
And Aubrey gets a vote. That's from Sheree. Sheree's just always throwing these funky single votes around.
But they're usually at Aubrey. The last one she threw was toward Aubrey.
No, she's thrown them towards Andrea before, too. I'm not sure if that might be what you're thinking about.
Well, she threw one at Sierra one time. Anyway, I don't know.
And Michaela gets voted out.
Everyone voted the way they did.
Somehow Brad and Troyzanne end up knowing to vote for Michaela.
Yeah.
And Sarah, I guess she cast both of hers for Michaela. So Michaela is out.
But surely Sarah said something to them.
That they didn't show us, right?
Yeah.
So that it would be a little bit of a surprise.
Is she flipping back to them? You know, the heck with these other people. I'll just go back over here.
That's the conclusion you're left with.
They got nobody else but me, so hey, why don't I just go this way?
Aubrey and Sheree are left on their own, and Sarah has now pivoted to Brad, Troyzanne, and Ty.
Yeah, that's what it was kind of, it looked like to me.
Brad was telling Ty there, he was motioning to him and saying that Sheree, and I believe he was pointing to Aubrey, voted for you. Of course, the Sheree one not being correct.
Yeah.
But he was saying,
she voted for you. She voted for you.
This one and this one voted for you. Probst, he's just like us at this point. He says, I can't wait to see what happens next, how this is going to turn out.
Yep, the final 6.
Anything you want to say before we go to next time on Survivor?
Nope.
We see an overhead shot of a gigantic maze. That looks really cool. I love when they do those huge mazes like that.
But that's tailor-made for somebody like Brad, I bet.
Someone who has energy, yeah, because that's going to be a lot of back and forth hard work in there. Because there's usually multiple places.
Energy, but,
Well, he's been on several rewards, so he's got that over Ty and Troyzanne.
I'd be out there fishing and going off somewhere and cooking my own fish. If I were him.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not feeding you guys.
Probst tells us we haven't seen the last of the surprises, so the biggest ones are yet to come. What did you make of Ty? Ty appears to be giving immunity necklaces, hidden immunity idols to Brad and Troy.
Brad? Why would he give?
And Brad's response is, I will happily use this against Ty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To vote you out.
Yeah.
No problem.
And Ty is emotional.
Vote you out with your own idol.
Yeah.
No problem.
He's crying.
Thinking, Ty, what are you doing, baby?
Ty's hurting in the last scene that we see in next time on Survivor.
I don't know. Ty does good, and then he doesn't, and then he's just so all over the place. I just really don't know what Ty will do. And this season, you haven't known what a lot of people would do, but.
Do you think most people are angling to take him to the end because they recall his performance in Go Wrong? Pretty good bet.
Him and Aubrey, they could take. Probably, definitely Sarah would win against, I think, him and Aubrey. I don't know about if she would beat Sheree, but I'm kind of thinking if she doesn't, if Sheree can't soothe that over, then she could be, yeah. And, wow, why would she take Brad, though?
She believes she can beat him. She believes she's played way harder. Yeah. She's been in way more control than he has.
I would say Sarah's best bet is to take Aubrey and Troy, or Aubrey and Ty.
Ty and Troy, yeah.
Ty and Troy. I would avoid Brad or Sari if I were her.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anybody could still win. You just don't know.
Yeah, it's not clear.
It's not over. Still
quite
moves.
A few of the jury members that were pro Andrea up until this point in the game.
Yep.
So now they've got to recalibrate themselves.
Well, but the same ones were, kind of liking Sari. Certainly Ozzy was. And so, I don't know. But I think a lot of them think Brad's played a really good game, and I think they would reward him for that as well. Because
who do you think has played, who has changed their game the most between Brad and Sarah?
Well, I think the biggest change probably would be Brad.
Sarah. The Brad thing's a perception. He's been playing
Sarah
the same game.
Played well in the beginning of her season, and then she kind of got...
They were winning. She wasn't really having to play.
True,
they were the Braun tribe, and they were winning.
In other words, I always thought Sarah was a good player. I didn't always think Brad was a good player. So I'm sure that colors that answer for me.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And Brad has certainly played a way better game.
Baggage, yes.
Though I think in some article he said he played exactly the same game. It was all in the edit.
Yeah, it would be, some of that may come down to how he decides to present it if he were to get the opportunity.
Right.
But I would say that Sarah's game, given what we know, and her effectiveness in the game is the greater of the two.
So,
that's my opinion.
What if
Brad hasn't been in power for a long time now.
Okay, so they can't remove Sarah next time. So Sarah's in Final Five.
Right. She got a lock on that.
In our opinion.
She just has to use the legacy advantage.
Yes, and she's in. However, if they get rid of her at 5, then what happens? Then who do you see stepping up to?
Or does that mean Sari's still in? I really want to know if Sari's still in or not.
Well, depends on if she or Aubrey going.
I'm going with Sari no matter who's left.
Yes.
I guess I'll just say it that way. There's no way that, and Sari's going to tell a better story than Culpepper, and Troyzanne and Aubrey and Ty are not going to measure up at all story-wise to Sari.
I think Ty would try, but I just don't think he would articulate it well enough to get the votes.
Here's the thing. There's because Ty is so compassionate and nurturing of others, he may elicit that response from the jury.
Because he's a likable person.
On his behalf, they may make the case for him.
Right.
The case that he's unable to articulate, potentially.
So
that's why I wouldn't count him out.
Does Aubrey have even a chance? That would seem remote to me.
It seems very remote. Very,
Unless
very
she's
remote.
Building her story in her mind.
Here's the one thing, and she is, because she's super articulate. She's very smart, and she knows how to tell a story. She is undeniably the biggest underdog that's still there.
Yeah.
Troyzanne could make a play for that, but Aubrey never had footing in this game at all.
Yeah. I don't think Troy has a chance of winning at all.
Oh, I can
From
tell
what
you.
we've been seeing.
No, I can tell you exactly how he could win. It would be not the other two. It would be a not Brad or a not Ty. That
I don't think there's anybody left that people would feel that way about.
Maybe Brad, maybe Ty. They've got strong feelings for Culpepper, and Culpepper was stoking some of those strong responses. I'm not saying they're deserved or not. I'm not making a judgment call, whatever. Just people respond to him strongly, and he stoked those fires. He like built them back up with how he was reacting after winning immunity.
Yeah, I just don't think there's anybody left in the game that the jury would feel that angry toward. Of course, I could be wrong. That be that angry toward that there would be a not you and not you vote.
Okay, I'll just leave it at that. That's the general pattern. The way Troyzanne wins is it's a not you and not you thing. It's not because Troy Zan did something fantastic.
Like I said, I don't think he has a chance.
What if he wins immunity a couple times before the end?
I don't care.
Then he's got some story.
I still don't think he has a chance as far as they would just see him as just sitting back and not doing anything.
Well, we've totally seen
that's a gameplay too. If it gets you further along.
It's a pattern to a win. We've seen under the radar a win.
Yes, many times. I just don't think so. It's just an opinion.
I'm with you. I don't think it's likely either, but that's how it could happen, I think.
Can anyone beat Sarah is the thing. Everybody knows how hard Sarah's playing.
It's that same Troy Zan story in the sense that you could get a not Sarah vote. It's like, given everything that she did and that she played a hand,
she lied to me.
You and you and you and you look at how many people she helps into the jury, and like Aubrey said, they're not robots, so there's emotions at work, and so she could get robbed in that sense.
And because Sarah said out loud in front of the jury that I believe this jury will reward gameplay.
If you're counting on it, you might as well start selling it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, that kind of thing can backfire, and they can go, yeah, well,
you're not going to tell me what to do.
You lied to me. Mm-hmm. So, right. Yes, you had good gameplay, but I don't care because you beat me and you lied to me.
Your gameplay stole $1 million from me.
Yeah, I am going to vote for them and not for you. So Sarah's the only one that's, I think, raised enough maybe Sari raised enough emotion like that.
If Sarah sits with Sari at the end, Sari could take it from her.
That's a possibility, I think. But I think Sari's the only one that could.
If given what we've been shown, gameplay-wise, no one left has come close to her.
Yeah, I agree.
She's been dominant since essentially the merge.
That's why would they let her get to the end? Why would they not? Hello, you're down to 6. The time is now. Now they can't get her, so she's going down to 5. So it's time, people.
They don't seem to be agreeing on getting rid of the flip-flopper. They're not making her pay, so
yeah,
she's still writing those checks.
Well, but they also have to think about that. Who can I beat?
Yeah.
Not just go along, Sarah's doing this, but can you beat Sarah? If your goal is really to win.
And we see this all the time because you don't have perfect knowledge. You only have your lens that you're viewing the game through, and that's why Troy Zan's confident. It's like, just let me get to the end. I'll make my case, and I think I can win if I get to the end because I got there. And everybody could think that, so that's how she could end up there.
Well, the thing I started thinking about tonight was, geez, those guys are just sitting back there, and the not Ty, but Troy and Brad are just sitting back there watching these girls go at each other and going, let's just let them pick each other up.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. It's not my name being thrown around.
How about a JSFL update?
I can do that. We have one person in first place with 61 points. We have 20 people who lost their USB for Andrea, 31 for Michaela. 254 people earned a vote-off point for Andrea.
Yeah, a lot of us were. That's a majority for sure. Yeah, we're pretty sure she was getting popped.
89 for Michaela. 35 people lost a safe point for Andrea, and 158 for Michaela and me.
Yeah, me too.
I thought, dang it, I got no extra points. I thought, I only got 4 points, and then I went, oh, shoot. Lost a safe point.
Yes.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yep, we thought that was all a red herring.
Okay, for the side challengers, Jeremiah's still in first with 54 points. Nina's in second with 51. Then with 50, we have Drew, Hubbaloo, and Iron Dave. 49, James and Shannon and Stacy. 48, Jonathan and Seth. 47, Cold Mike. 46, Brandon and Parker, and with 45, Jody.
Well, all right, Jody. Seth, that's quite a rally. Good job, buddy. And Iron Dave is plunging quite quickly.
Yes, he is. Okay, that's it. You got anything else you want to discuss? Do you have an opinion who's going next? What do you think?
So I do want to mention how we'll do the scoring, since we're talking about JSFL. How we'll do the scoring at the end, because the system that we have isn't built to do a final 6, but once again, they're giving us the final 6. So we're going to go like we did last time.
Yeah.
And
it'll be the same for everyone, so it will be fair.
Right. So the final 5 submissions that correctly does not include the player sent home in 6th place receives 2 additional points. So that's how we handle 6 at this point. It's like the most expedient way for Steve to do that.
Yeah, so you won't have the opportunity to put the 6th person down. It will just be implied by who you don't put down.
Implied. It's implicit. And anyone who has the 6th place finisher in their final 5 will not receive any additional points because of that. If there's a tie for 2nd or 3rd, which seems like
just for that position,
it could be possible if there's a tie for 2nd and 3rd, as in there's a final 3 and 2 people get no votes and it's tied.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If Sarah won unanimously, the other 2, it's a tie.
Yeah, then you'll be awarded the respective points regardless of the order that you have them listed in.
Right.
So you get a little bit of a pass on that.
If you're in the 2nd place slot, you get those points. If you're in the 3rd place slot, you get those points.
Yeah, and if you manage to get them both right, you get them both. So,
that's right. You get both points.
All right, and you still got to manage your safe points through final 5. All right, so that's JSFL. What did you ask? Who did I think is going to win?
Yeah,
Sarah.
No, I didn't ask that at all.
Well, this is like tribal council. You're like Probst, and I'm playing.
I said, who's going out next?
I think Sarah's going to win, and
would you stop repeating that? And
Culpepper is going to go next. Well, it's between Culpepper and Cerie. I'm afraid Cerie's going to have to go. Taking Michaela out is like a warning shot over Cerie's bow. So I think Cerie has cause for concern.
Well,
so maybe Cerie, then Culpepper.
Well, the reason you think that's because you see Ty giving them the idols. But what I want to see that be is not Ty's real idols. I want Ty to make up some fake idols to make those guys feel like, so they don't go trying to get votes with other people because they think they got a lock on it.
Right, yeah.
So I want him to present them with fake idols, which would tickle Troy's in because, you know, he'd go, he gave me an idol and I already have one.
Yes.
Now I have 2.
At which point maybe he gets voted out.
Exactly.
Playing the fake one.
It's possible.
Thinking that he's safe for another round.
So wait, Jeff, I have a real one. So.
How about you? Who do you think's going next?
Well, I'm afraid it's Cerie, but I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of thinking.
You still got hopes for your girl Aubrey there at the end?
Oh, I hadn't
pulling it out.
I hadn't considered that since the merge, really. But I just couldn't let go of the 24 points.
Yes,
so.
Yeah, okay.
But no, I would still actually rather see Cerie win than Aubrey.
Yeah, I think I would too. Even I'll take a Cerie win over
of
Sarah.
The points, you know.
Yeah, I'm sentimental for Cerie, I guess.
Yep.
Going back to being afraid of leaves on
playing with my heart, not my head. So the points don't mean as much to me. That would just be fun.
Got it.
To have Cerie win, but
excited for the finale?
Yeah, I'm just like, what are they going to do now? 6 people, not to mention 6 interviews the next day.
Well, we're not quite there. We got a couple interviews that we'll be doing tomorrow, and then we want to check in with the super fans here and find out what they thought about this episode, how it played out, what their thoughts are on who's going next and who's got a lock on the win, what the different scenarios that they see are for the potential winners. I always like it when people break it down from a couple different angles like that. So I'm excited for the listener feedback show as we then head in to the finale next week. And that feedback's due on Saturday noon Pacific time. Voicemail line 206-350-1547. We already had quite a few people have taken advantage of that to get some feedback in tonight already. And then there's a toll-free version of the voicemail line, 844-643-8737. You can also record the audio on your own and send it to us in email, joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. Or you can write it up, and either Joanne or I will read it into the show for you on your behalf.
Please help. I need to help with my final 5 order.
Yeah. Yeah, we usually have some really good discussions there. So I'm definitely excited for the finale and the reunion show, and looking forward to that. It's been an exciting season, a challenging season, and certainly an emotional season. And it's about to be over, but we've got a little more game to talk about before that happens. Anything else you want to add?
Nope. I better get in there and get to work.
Yeah, gotta get some questions done. I gotta get this episode out.
Okay. Good night, everybody.